Hello everyone, today we'll talk about more benefits of praying in a Minyan. I think we'll try to do 2 paragraphs because they're pretty short. So upon first glance, one might think that prayer recited individually is more intense and passionate and better expresses one's particular character and needs. However, despite the importance of the individual experience, our main objective in this world, and this is based on the Ramchal and others, is to sanctify God's name and to connect all the components of the world to their spiritual root. That is why we need to work from within and on behalf of the collective whole. This sense of unity and belonging is also expressed by praying in a minyan. Similarly, in the wording of the Shemoneh Esrei, we make requests on behalf of everyone. Heal us and we will be healed. Bless this year for us. Sound the great shofar for our freedom and raise a banner to gather our exiles. And to Jerusalem, your city, may you return in mercy. And so too for the remaining brachot of the Amidah. So all of these requests, like we mentioned before, are in the plural. Even our confession on Yom Kippur is said out loud and publicly. I don't think that I did half the things that we list in those prayers, but there might be somebody in the community who has, and so we are basically asking either in Avinu Malkeinu or in Al Chet Shechatanu Lefanecha, again that is also said in plural, to forgive us as a collective, as a community, as a congregation. Am Yisrael, the people of Israel's uniqueness, lies in its ability to reveal Kedusha, holiness, within the collective whole. Prominent righteous people exist, of course, also among the Gentile nations, but their holiness is limited to their individual lives. And they also, some of them, not all, but some of them practice Nazirut, which we believe does make somebody more holy, but first of all, it's temporary, and second of all, it is basically excluding yourself from being in the presence of other people, especially in times of joy and sorrow. So a Nazir should not go to a wedding because they might serve wine there. They're going to serve wine there, sorry, and that will be just temptation. And the Nazir is also not allowed to go to a funeral because he might be in the presence of a dead. So the Jewish Kedusha, the Jewish sanctification, is lichyot al kiddush Hashem, to live in sanctifying God's name and to be involved in the world and to be involved in everything that especially in our community is needed, and we can elevate them through being involved with them. We can't elevate them if we are sitting in what's called the ivory tower. Kedusha is in a national format, is revealed solely through Am Yisrael. Therefore, Am Yisrael received the Torah, and it is a nation that can build the temple through which the divine light is revealed to this world. Even 10 Jews who gather together for matters of sanctity manifest, to a certain extent, the holiness of the Jewish people. Therefore, if a person who prays in a minyan connects to the congregation, identifies with its grief, and pleads for its well-being, and wants to add personal prayers from his or her heart, it is indeed praiseworthy, since all of their personal prayers are connected to the collective whole. So again, most people don't pray for their own healing, and I know that I find it very difficult for me to pray for my own healing. But if there's somebody standing next to me and he's praying for somebody else, and maybe even for me, and I'm praying for somebody else, then that's what makes this this network much more important. And so in the next paragraph, he just adds even more stuff. So we are now in paragraph 3 of chapter 2. The essence of prayer in a minyan is praying Shemoneh Esrei together with 10 Jews. One who does not succeed in praying Shemoneh Esrei together with the congregation should pray with the Chazan when he repeats the Amidah. So either I was late or I just don't pray as fast as the Chazan. It's better to just do the silent Amidah when they're doing the repetition. Since according to most poskim, that is also regarded as prayer, recited in a minyan. You can't answer amen in Kedusha without having the minyan, so that's why it's important. And of course, until 500 years ago, nobody had books, so we had to rely on Chazarat Hashatz, on the repetition, to be able to concentrate and answer amen to every single blessing. Additionally, if a person arrives late to synagogue and recites the Amidah while the congregation is still reciting other parts of the prayer service, such as Aleinu L'Shabeach, although he is not considered praying in a minyan, he does derive some merit, since he is praying in a holy place where 10 Jews are singing songs of praise. And this was just an example. Of course, any other time is also appropriate. If he recites the Amidah of Shachrit while the congregation is praying Musaf, he is considered to be praying in a minyan. So, unfortunately, that happens a lot when people are late on Shabbat morning, when they sleep in. But I do know that, and I don't know why it's not here, I think it's in the laws of reading the Torah. Rabbi Melamed says it's very important not to pray your silent Amidah while the Torah reading is going on, because first of all, you're not fulfilling the obligation of reading the Torah, and second of all, you will not be able to concentrate when you're hearing people being called up, when you hear people saying blessings, and you have to answer amen. And of course, you're in the middle of the Amidah, silent Amidah, you're not supposed to answer amen to somebody else's blessing, and you want to even maybe rush through it so you could get to Sheni or Shlishi, whatever it is. I'm 100% sure that is the most inappropriate time to pray the Amidah. And last but not least, this is based on a story that actually happens during the time of the Amoraim. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak was very ill, and his father, Rav Yitzchak, came to visit him and asked him why he's not praying with the community. And of course, he knew that the fact that his son is ill would prevent him from coming to synagogue. So Rav Nachman didn't understand what the question was about, and he said, "What am I supposed to do?" He says, find out from the Chazan what time approximately they're praying Amidah, and you should tune yourself in to pray Amidah at the same time. And 4 years ago, or just about 4 years ago, when we stopped going to synagogue because of the first lockdown of COVID, Rabbi Sachs, gave an amazing class before Parshat Vayakel, and he actually was lamenting the fact that Parshat Vayakel, literally means to gather the Jews and to congregate. And he said this is the first Shabbat that the synagogues will be closed. He gave 5 tips, and one of them was that if your usual synagogue starts davening at 8:30 in the morning on Shabbat morning, then you should start praying with them, or at least estimate based on your previous experiences in that shul what time the Amidah of Shabbat was. And so this is this last paragraph. A person who is unable to attend synagogue should try to coordinate the time he prays with the time the congregation prays, thereby partially engaging himself in the minyan's prayer. And of course, this was written before Zoom. I'm very lucky that I'm able to pray now 3 times a day with the minyan because of Zoom, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. And I think Rabbi Sachs, I guess, knew about Zoom, but he wouldn't expect anybody Orthodox to be on Zoom on Shabbat morning. So that's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about timing it to when the congregation prays. This way, his prayer will be accepted, since the time congregation prays is a favorable time. And again, that's based on that story about Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak. Lechatchila, we should try to synchronize his prayer with the prayers of the specific congregation whose schedule he knows. If he does not know when a particular congregation is praying, for example, if he's away in a hotel or whatever, he should have in mind to pray with any minyan, for surely anytime he prays, there is a minyan somewhere in the world that is standing in prayer. I didn't know that Rabbi Melamed knew the expression, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. but but that's what it sounds like to me, and just the idea that there for sure is a congregation that's praying. And Shabbat, even though it's really 25 hours, I think it stretches over close to 48 hours because there's so many time zones and so many Jews everywhere in the world. So it's just incredible that this idea is much more practical in our days. And I will end with that.